If you don't speak Finnish, you might be having a little trouble with the pronunciation of the Finnish name of the movie, and I was asked to give a quick instruction. It's Mustalaishurmaaja. After me, ready? Mustalaishurmaaja.
Oh heavens.
That wasn't so hard. That sounded very authentic. No, a little bit more about the movie. Actually, a little bit more about today's event. It's great to be here, and what it shows me is that everybody here is interested in culture, heritage, history. If you're here because you enjoy silent movies as an art form, like Dylan was saying, it's very interactive. It's a great thing to keep going. In a way, it's like, come hear a concert. Oh, and by the way, you get to hear, and by the way, you get to see a movie. So that's a great thing about silent movies. If you're here because you're interested about Finnish heritage, that's an excellent thing. This is probably the best silent movie that ever came out of Finland. It's true, America was the powerhouse of silent movies, but I'll tell you, these Finnish people really took the lessons and ran with them. It's a very dynamic movie. There's a lot going on. The characters are very vivid. Raise your hand if you ever paid money to see a movie and you left and you said, man, those characters were cardboard. I don't remember any character, any personality. I mean, that happens a lot. And this is not one of those films. This is the characters. You could write a character sketch about all the main characters after this is over, because it's just really well done. And then the other thing that's important, I think, about the heritage and cultural events that we're doing here is the Wurlitzer itself. There's just not as many of them as there used to be, and it's a really important piece of musical, not just history, but a piece of musical performance, and it kind of hurts me to see any organ disappear, and I'm glad that this one's keeping going. I'll echo Dylan's request to contribute to the fund to keep it alive, because a little confession, I am a church organist in Virginia. I play at church every Sunday, sometimes a couple different churches over the weekend, and honestly, this is a funner organ. It's just got more stuff. It does more things. It's got sound effects. It's just a little bit more fun. So I'm really glad that it's in good shape. I hope we can all agree to keep it going, have more events like this. One last thing I want to say about the movie. You're going to learn a lot just by watching it, but I think when I talked about this with the previous audience, they said, I'm so glad you pointed that out before the movie and not after, because now I know what to look for. This movie is admittedly just a fantasy kind of entertainment. It's very entertaining, and it's a great adventure, but don't take it seriously as a documentary about how things really were in Finland in the 1920s. But to keep the budget on track, because it wasn't a big budget movie, this is sort of the fantasy life of a group of gypsies, but the main cast and the producers, they approached an actual gypsy village settlement outside of Helsinki in 1929 and said, can we shoot in your village and all of you be the extras? Would that be okay? And they said yes. So whenever you see somebody on the screen who doesn't have a speaking part, it's an actual gypsy villager from a real gypsy settlement in 1928-29 Finland. So you're going to see a lot of extras doing a lot of things, a lot of seemingly Hollywood-style recreation. It's not a recreation. These were really gypsy villagers. This is an interesting chronicle of a time that's past. It's gone. It's not around anymore. But we have this record of what it was really like, in a manner of speaking, except for the main actors and the somewhat fantastic plot. But there's just a lot of that authenticity to this movie that I think you're going to enjoy. And then the last thing I'll say is that as far as the authenticity goes, my mom was the founder of the Finger Lakes Finns. She was born in Helsinki and raised in Imatra, Finland, and she had a large collection of music books. And so I rifled through pretty much every book I could find to find the right soundtrack selections. And my Finnish is not really that good, so some of the titles of these songs, like, what does this even mean? So I had to contact my cousins and say, all right, what does this mean? What does that mean? And all of the song selections are Finnish songs, every note. And there's even some relatively recent stuff, well, that's not true, probably from the 1920s and 30s, from Martin Isonen, who was a professor of music in Hancock, Michigan, although he himself was from Finland. And I thought, he was doing so much work in the 20s and 30s, that's kind of the time this movie was done. So it's authentic. He was a real Finnish guy. He's a Finnish-American musician that a lot of people haven't heard about. His music's in this too. I think I probably talked enough about the movie, so I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy Mustalaishurmaaja, the Gypsy Charmer, and we'll have a little question and answer session after it's over. Thank you.